Yo, what's good, Jets Nation? This is Jets Media, and in this video, I will be breaking down our franchise quarterback, Sam Darnold, player profile. I am so excited to bring you guys this video. When I initially made this series of the player profiles of all New York Jets players, I was looking forward to this video. This is going to be my favorite one to make for sure, and I saved it the best for last. No, this is not going to be my last player profile video because I still have players to go over like Avery Williamson, Foley Fatukasi, Steve McLennan, and others. But that one Jets Drive episode that dropped last night, all about Sam Darnold, really inspired me to make this player profile video for Sam Darnold. Some of you guys were commenting, yo, when's that Sam Darnold player profile video coming out? And I said, you know what, I'm going to save it for last, best for last, Sam Darnold. But that video last night, that episode for One Jets Drive really inspired me. So in this video, I'll be breaking down our franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold, why I believe he is our guy for the future, and why I think he would lead this team to the promised land for the next 10 plus seasons. And why I think that the whole narrative of Sam Darnold is on a hot seat, and if the Jets don't play well this year, they should draft guys like Trevor Lawrence. That is just really not what I'm thinking. I think Sam Darnold is the man, and I'll be breaking down exactly why. I'll bring you guys his stats in 2019, my projected 2020 stats for him, his strengths and weaknesses. This is going to be a very in-depth video of Sam Darnold. I'm super excited to get into it. Before I get into it, though, I want to mention you guys can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter at NYJetsMedia. And if you're interested in my brand new YouTube channel, Touchdown Kingdom, I'm posting all NFL content. It's not going to be me on camera. It's going to be me making top 10 videos all about the NFL. My latest video is a top 10 NFL teams in 2020. It hurt me not being able to put the Jets in there. Hopefully next year the Jets will be a top 10 team, but they were not in it. So if you guys are interested in my new channel, please support it. I'll really appreciate it, and I'll leave the link down below in the comments. So with that being said, let's jump right into Sam Darnold, baby. Let's go. Sam Darnold obviously is going into his third year. His first two seasons were shaky, but he showed flashes of great potential. First year, his rookie season, under Todd Bowles, 2018. His first game against Detroit, Monday Night Football. That one game shows you what Sam Darnold's career will be like on the New York Jets, in my opinion. What happened in his first play? Pick 6 on prime time. His first ever throw, his first ever snap as a New York Jet, first ever snap in the NFL. He threw it across the field, and he got picked off. That was probably one of the scariest moments as a Jets fan, seeing that, because so much hype and anticipation. Sam Darnold won the starting job over Teddy Bridgewater, Josh McCown. Sam Darnold's our guy. He's going to be the future, and that's his first play as a pick 6. It was the worst feeling in my heart. I was like, wow. And all my friends were texting me, yo, Sam Darnold sucks. But what did Sam Darnold do after that? He completed 16 of 20 passes, threw for just under 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and went on to defeat the Detroit Lions and blew them out in fashion by 48-17 and destroyed the Lions. That right there shows you Sam Darnold's mental ability to push through adversity. Any other 21-year-old, and by the way, Sam Darnold is the youngest quarterback in history to start week 1. Sam Darnold, as a 21-year-old, has the mental ability to push through that. Do you have any idea how easy he could have just collapsed and lost his confidence and just been like, yo, like, honestly, this moment's too big for me. I just do a pick 6, and he gets all worried. He loses his confidence. But no, Sam Darnold pushed through it. He's like, all right, that play's in the past. Time to focus on now. And he thrived. He had his first touchdown to Robbie Anderson of his career. It was like a 40-yard bomb, and he just really looked like our guy. And that one game really shows you Sam Darnold's career, because how much times did you see Sam Darnold get punched in the mouth and just get knocked down? You saw the Ghost game, you saw all these games, and then the next game he just shows his resiliency and just shows that he can push through adversity. There's so many other quarterbacks that really get shaken by the moment and really be driven down, but Sam Darnold has that mental ability. So that's one trait that why I think Sam Darnold will prosper and be great on this Jets team, because he has the mental ability to push through adversity, which is a really rare trait, and that is what he needs, especially in a New York City market. And going into his play on the field, so Sam Darnold, what I love about him the most is that he can throw off platform in any way. And it's like kind of like a sloppiness, greatness to him. So say there's pressure in his face. And no, we have not seen Sam Darnold once have clean pocket consistently, and Sam Darnold could be comfortable. So his first 2 years on the Jets, he's been constantly under pressure, constantly avoiding sacks. So we can see how he can deal with it. And his he's like a magician in the pocket sometimes. Yes, obviously he will get sacked most of the time because it's hard to avoid it, but there's some times where he'll step up in the pocket, feel the guy coming without even seeing him, and just roll out to his left or roll out to his right and make a precise pass downfield accurately. Like, that is next level stuff. Tony Romo explained it best, is spatial awareness. He has the feel for the game where if he's in the pocket and there's the guy on the left side, his blind side's blitzing, he feels him coming without even seeing him and he steps up. That's greatness. That's instinctual ability to feel the game, and that's what Sam Darnold has. That's going to prosper him. Just wait till he actually has a wall in front of him. Joe Douglas builds it for him, and he doesn't have to worry, because we know Sam Darnold in the back of his mind through his first 2 years is worried about it. He's not confident about his offensive line. What he says in the media doesn't really count. He probably says, yeah, I trust my guys, I trust him. But deep down, we know Sam Darnold in his mind is not confident in this line, because he snaps the ball 2-3 seconds later, there's pressure in his face. So I'm excited to see what Sam Darnold can do with continuity at that O-line and really have actual protection. So what I'm just trying to say is Sam Darnold has the ability to turn a really broken down play into something. He can really spin out of the pocket. He can break loose of a tackle and run right or left and extend a play. And another good thing I like about Sam Darnold is his mobility. He's not a run first type of quarterback like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Those two players, mostly when they break out of the pocket, their first instinct is to tuck the ball and run. Sam Darnold, he breaks the pocket, he's running parallel to the line of scrimmage, and he keeps his head up. He wants to throw the ball downfield. He's waiting for a guy like Chris Herndon or Jameson Crowder to break off the route and get open so he can be a baller and throw the ball. And that does bite him in the ass sometimes, excuse my language, because he does force it sometimes. Sam Darnold's one of the weaknesses he has is his decision making. I'll get into his strengths and weaknesses. This is going to be a really long video, so I hope you guys are ready for this. But his decision making has to improve. That's one thing that will make or break his career. He really likes to force it too much, and that's a kind of a good trait to have. Kind of reminds me of Brett Favre, and he's going to be forcing it too much, and it's going to help him, and sometimes it's not going to help him. But what I'm trying to say is he has that baller mentality. He has the confidence in his arm to make throws, and that's really going to help him out. One play against the Baltimore Ravens in 2019 stood out to me, where it was just a design rollout, and he rolled out, and I think Brandon Shell was the right tackle at the time. Maybe he was hurt, and he blocked him out of the outside zone, and Sam Darnold stepped in between footwork, went all the way to the right, threw the ball off platform on the run to Jameson Crowder. Jameson Crowder took it for 30 yards downfield, and then Sam Darnold had that incredible touchdown to Jameson Crowder after that play. That just one play is a small sample size of what Sam Darnold can do when he has protection and he has a clear vision and he has the footwork to get into space. So that's a lot I just had to say. Let's jump right into the statistics of Sam Darnold. 2019 stats. So Sam Darnold started 13 games. He missed 3 games due to mononucleosis. So obviously Sam Darnold was not at his top of his game. The game 1 against Buffalo, he was sick. And then he had mono really just ruins your immune system. So the way Sam Darnold played this year, it's just crazy how well he played, honestly. I didn't expect him to come back from mono and play this well. So Sam Darnold improved in every single statistic all across the board from his rookie season. So he had 61.9 completion percentage, 3,024 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and an 84.3 rating. Like I said, all of these stats are improvements from his rookie season, which is a good sign, especially with what he had to deal with. He had mono. He had another coaching change. He had terrible offensive line. He had 12 different sets in total, not a number 1 receiver. Ryan Griffin was an okay tight end. Le'Veon Bell is a great running back, but he didn't really feel himself because the offensive line didn't open things up for him. So these statistics for a 22-year-old sophomore quarterback going into 2019, I expected more from him. But what he had to deal with, you got to give him credit. And these stats are not that bad. It's average. It's a below average statistics. It's not something that's going to come out of you and be like, whoa. And other fans that are not Jets fans are going to look at these stats and be like, yo, he can't even get 20 touchdowns. He sucks. Just over 3,000. But they're all going to linger on to seeing ghosts. Oh, Sam Darnold, is he scared? But real quick, let me just talk about Sam Darnold and the seeing ghosts thing. For all you Jets fans watching this, if there's any Dolphins, Bills, Patriots, anybody that's saying, oh, Sam Darnold sucks, he's seeing ghosts, I want you to say this to them. Brett Favre, Tom Brady, and other great quarterbacks have said the term seeing ghosts before. It's a very common term that quarterbacks use when they're just not seeing the field right. It's when you're on the field and you're calling out guys like that guy's blitzing, watch out for him. And basically you're calling out the wrong people. You're like, okay, I think he's blitzing, but he's not. And he's basically not seeing the field right. And that term means I'm seeing ghosts. I'm seeing things that I'm not really supposed to be seeing. You're not reading the field right. And it just so happens that Sam Darnold is living in the era of live television, national television with hot mics on the sidelines, where in 2019 he had to be mic'd up and had to be broadcasted to the entire world that he said he's seeing ghosts, even though Brett Favre says he's admitted saying that on the sideline. Tom Brady said he said that on the sideline. It's a common term, but Sam Darnold just going to get ridiculed. But I don't want to get off topic. That's just something you guys should say to anybody saying he's seeing ghosts. And don't really let that get to you of them saying that, because it's just proves that they're not educated in Sam Darnold, because that's the only argument they have to say. So going into his projected 2020 stats for him. So this is if he plays all 16 games, if there's a full NFL season. And this is what I expect from Sam Darnold. I think he's going to have a big jump. And this is if he plays all 16 games, if there is a full NFL season, which I really hope for. 63.4 completion percentage, 3,864 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 87.7 rating. So, yes, these are improvements all across the board. I think Sam Darnold has potential to put up these numbers, and I think that he's only going to get better every single season. I really think Sam Darnold has what it takes to elevate guys around him. I think that he can turn minimal talent and really show, get guys like Braxton Berrios, Vincent Smith, backups, and make them look into really quality receivers. I think Sam Darnold has the ability to elevate players around him. And I think these statistics, these stats are really realistic for Sam Darnold to take a big step. I think he can improve his completion percentage. I think he can have another 800 yards because he has 3 extra games playing. 28 touchdowns, that's a lot of touchdowns for Sam Darnold. I think that's very likely. 3 rushing touchdowns. He had 2 last year, so he can definitely get 3. 13 interceptions, same as last year. I think Sam Darnold's going to have a high interception rate for the rest of his career just because he has that decision-making. He's a baller. He likes forcing it, and it's going to help him, and sometimes it's going to hurt him. So that's why I have 13 interceptions, 87.7 passer rating. So if he comes out with these stats and the Jets finish 7-9, 6-10, or even 8-8, even 9-7 with these stats, I'm happy. Sam Darnold proves that he's the guy. I think that these are realistic stats. I try not to be delusional and biased saying Sam Darnold is going to have 35, 40 touchdowns, because I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm trying to be realistic as possible. So going into his strengths and weaknesses, this took me a while to come up with. So I have a lot of strengths. So Sam, I'm going to go over each one by one. Number 1, work ethic. I kind of went over some of these in the beginning of the video, but I'll just go over it again briefly. His work ethic is a blue-collar work ethic, as Colin Cowherd would say. As Jordan Palmer, his quarterback's coach, says, he's never seen a guy work this hard. He is determined to be great. He wants to be great. He's not doing anything in his life other than football. He breathes football, and he wants to take this Jets football team to the promised land. You need a quarterback that is driven and wants to be great. I mean, not every single quarterback wants to be that way. They have a mental problem, or they lose a drive. They're not really passionate. Sam Darnold is working like crazy. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Jordan Palmer, his quarterback's coach, keeps saying he's never seen somebody work so hard. He's outworking everybody out of everybody that they're working out with. Guys like Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Kyle Allen, and those guys, his quarterback coach said that he's outworking everybody by a landslide. That tells you a lot about Sam Darnold's work ethic. So his resiliency is what I have at number 2. I made a Sam Darnold highlight tape for 2019, and I titled it Resiliency because how much stuff did Sam Darnold have to overcome in 2019? He had mono. He had to come back, and after mono, his first game against Dallas, he beat the Dallas Cowboys to get the Jets the first victory, and shows how important Sam Darnold is to this Jets football team. And he came out, beat them, goes against the Patriots on Monday Night Football, has his worst career game of his life, 4 interceptions. He was, like I mentioned, the whole ghost thing. You guys know the story. And then after that, he showed up and finished the season 6-2, had 13 touchdowns to 4 interceptions for the rest of the year. That's resiliency. It's hard to come back from a Monday Night Football nightmare like that and dealing with mono and dealing with in the mental game. When Sam Darnold's out, he's probably thinking in his head, damn, I'm letting down New York City. How did I get mono? I can't believe I'm not in the field. He can easily just, in his head, just drive himself down, I'm done. But no, he's resilient. His mind is always thinking in the positive light, and that's going to prosper. I'm telling you, that's a really underrated trait of Sam Darnold. And number 3, I have ability to throw off platform. I mentioned this as well. Sam Darnold's ability, you saw that play against the Giants when he was getting dragged down and he's like off platform, slings it across his body to Robbie Anderson for a 12-yard completion, accurate as hell. So his ability to throw off platform is going to really show that he does not have to have a clean pocket every single time. He's a baller. If there's pressure in his face, he throws off his back foot way too much, but sometimes when he throws off his back foot, they're accurate. I don't really want him to throw off his back foot. I want him to step up and have clean fundamentals, but his ability to throw off platform will prosper. He will elevate his game even more, because if you're able to play well under duress, especially with the Jets' history of offensive line, it's going to be great. And number 4, I have throw on the run. So I mentioned this as well. I think Sam Darnold, even from college and high school, he's best at throwing on the run. So I want to see Gase get more bootlegs, get more design rollouts, because when Sam Darnold's rolling to his right or even to his left, he throws dimes. And that is what you want. He's really mobile as well. I mean, that's another one down this list I'll talk about. But his ability to throw on the run and accuracy is not common. That is really rare, and I want Adam Gase to take advantage of that. Next, I have spatial awareness. I went over this as well. Basically, his feel in the pocket. He feels people around him. When the pocket's collapsing, he can get out of there and escape pressure and then run to the right or run to the left and throw on the run. That's a really good trait to have, especially when they're blitzing and he needs to read guys and just get out of the pocket. You know, spatial awareness is an instinctual ability that you can't coach, and that's Sam Darnold. He has that. Next, I have short, medium accuracy. I think that these two are the best traits of his arm-wise. He can really zip the ball 10, 15 yards, 20 yards down the field with ease, accurately. If he has a clean pocket, he can step up into his throws, and he can just put really high velocity on that ball. He has a good arm for short to medium range. And next, I have ability to avoid pressure with legs. This kind of goes hand in hand with spatial awareness. When there's pressure in his face, he uses his legs to juke out people, to really avoid pressure, and that's a really good trait to have, especially for a guy like Sam Darnold, who was constantly under duress his entire career, basically. So that's only going to help him out. Next, I have his mobile. I went over this as well. Sam Darnold can use his legs and run down the field 10, 15 yards if he wants to, but he rather throw the ball. But if he has to, he'll tuck the ball, he'll run. He's a good athlete. He's a very underrated athlete. I feel like if he was in a playbook like Josh Allen, where there would be more design runs, he can do similar things to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a way better runner for sure, but Sam Darnold definitely can use his legs and run for the first down. And then lastly, he's a natural leader. He's a guy that can galvanize people. He doesn't have to try hard to be a leader. He's not like forcing himself. Like, he's instinctually a leader. People look at Sam Darnold and say, that's my quarterback. Whatever he says, I'm going to do. And that's what you want from your franchise quarterback. You need a guy that can galvanize the locker room and bring this offense, elevate people around him, and that's why I think Sam Darnold will be great. So yes, this is a long list of strengths. This took me a while. Going into his weaknesses, his decision-making, that's what's going to make or break his career. I mentioned this earlier as well. Sam Darnold does make boneheaded decisions sometimes where he should, when he's rolling out to the right and there's a tight window and he should throw the ball away or take a sack. Instead, he tries to fit it in and he throws the ball interception. That's not good, Sam Darnold. You got to really, I think this is a trait that's coachable. It's not like a trait that's going to be with him for the rest of his life, but at the same time, he does have that baller mentality where he has so much confidence in his arm where he's going to make the throw. And it's going to help sometimes. Sometimes he's going to make some phenomenal plays. I'll tell you guys that. But sometimes it's going to hurt him, and he's going to throw interceptions. So that's one thing he has to improve on, is decision-making. He's going to throw a lot of interceptions. Hopefully sometimes when there's nobody open, he just takes a sack or he just throws the ball away. That's what we want. That's what I want to see an improvement in year 3. Next, I have consistency. This has been a problem from him from college, from high school. Not really high school, but from college to the pro level is consistency. For example, his game against the Cowboys, excellent. 2 touchdowns, 350 yards, win. Next game against the Patriots, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's not consistency. You need to be consistent every single week. That's what it's going to make or break Sam Darnold's career. Can he be good every single game? Maybe not great every game, but can he be great, then good, then great, good. You know what I mean? He needs consistency at that quarterback spot. If we want Sam Darnold to take this team to the next level, he needs to improve in consistency. I know that's a big weakness of his, and I think if he gets consistent, he's going to even have better stats than I'm even projecting from him, to be honest. And lastly, I have deep ball accuracy. This is one issue I think that will also make or break his career. It's not a big issue, but the one deep ball accuracy, the one play he had against Robbie Anderson against the Cowboys. He threw the ball like 40 yards down the field, and it was accurate as hell, and that was amazing. But there's some plays where Sam Darnold missed a deep ball. He had Robbie Anderson wide open, and he missed him. He had a lot of players open, and he missed him. He's better short, medium range. Deep ball accuracy, he definitely needs to improve on, and his throw power is also not a weakness. I mean, he doesn't have the cannon of an arm like Mahomes or Josh Allen where you can throw the ball at like 70, 60 yards down the field with ease, but we don't really need that. I think he just needs to improve his decision-making and his accuracy, and he'll be fine. So, yeah, these are the weaknesses I came up with. Any more I can just think on the top of my head will probably be his footwork in the pocket. I know I said his spatial awareness is great and all that, but he needs to really be able to get his fundamentals down more. He needs to really set his feet and step into his throws, get his hips into the motion sometimes, because he is a baller where to the point where he can throw off platform, and he shouldn't rely on that too much. I want to see him get more fundamentally sound, clean up his footwork, because that's definitely another weakness of his that I just thought of. I did not write it down. And yeah, so those are my strengths and weaknesses for Sam Darnold. Wow, this is a long video. If you guys are watching till this moment, leave a comment down below of the jet emoji. I'm really curious. But going to finish off this video, just want to bring you guys my initial thoughts of Sam Darnold and what I think he's going to be doing in 2020 and beyond. I think Sam Darnold is going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. I'm really excited for him. That One Jets Drive episode last night was so amazing. We saw the vision from his high school coach, his college coach, Jordan Palmer, the offseason coach. We see Sam Darnold, what type of player he is and what type of person he is off the field, more importantly, and I think it's going to elevate him and his Jets team around him. I think the Jets are really set up for the future with Sam Darnold. I do not think they're going to be drafting any quarterback. The narrative of Joe Douglas and Sam Darnold, they're not together because Joe Douglas didn't draft him, is just blown out of proportion. Joe Douglas came to the Jets because of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold will be this guy for the next 10-plus seasons. As you guys can tell, I'm very high on him. But yes, he does have a lot of things to clean up. I'm not saying he's the perfect quarterback. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the league. I think he has potential to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback for sure. But yeah, this is a really long video. I'm going to end this here. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of Sam Darnold. And let me know if you watched to the end of the video, because this is a 20-plus minute video. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And stay tuned for more live streams and more AFC East roundtables. I'll be on live with other division rivals like TD Finns Talk Dolphins, Dan Mitchell Buffalo Bills, Master at Work Patriots, more podcasts. And check out my new channel as well, Touchdown Kingdom. I got a lot of things in the works. I really appreciate you guys tuning into this channel. I also went live last night for the first time, so I'm going to go live more often. So yeah, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a fantastic day. Let's go Jets! I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.